Alright, welcome back. Part 7, FMS Avanti 18th Anniversary Edition, turbine conversion using the top design kit from RC Castle. In this video we're going to talk about the struts and the brakes, how I installed them, what my plan is for the brakes, and some I guess tips and tricks for you guys so they can go a little bit easier on you. Alright, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to have this piece of foam here. It's going to be, let's see, it was stuck this way. Yeah. So you got this right in there, like right here on your wing. So all you want to do is just take a straight little razor blade, get in there, just cut the glue all around like that. Here, here, and here, these three sides. Then just take a little flathead screwdriver, and it'll just pop right out. All right, give you access to that hole inside in there. Now, you're also going to want to pull all this crap out. It's atrocious how they did this. Pull it all out, make it neat. You don't want a lot of stress on the wires. I mean, this was, I can't stand crap like this. So I pull it all out, redo it, because it's just, they crammed it in there however they could cram it in there. It's not good. Put a lot of stress on the wires, and whatever. All right. So once you get that cover off, go ahead and change your strut out. Now here's the stock strut. All right. Now what's missing on the ones that you buy for the conversion kit? There's no hole here and no hole here, so these cannot be used, which really not a big deal, but just be aware of that. And the other thing is, the wheel does not sit flat. Okay? You can see how high it sticks up above. Once again, not a big deal, but just be aware of that. Okay? And how I'm going to do mine, so I pulled the DB9 connector out, took the two black screws out right here, and then that connector will pull right out. So I put my little test board on it so I can test it, see how it's going. And what I'm going to do is I ran my brake wire, right? So actually, let me extend the brakes. Let me show you how I did this. All right, so what you're going to want to do when you put your strut on like that, that's good, but you can see how I wrapped the brake line around the strut. Right? I found that was the best way to do it. I didn't put any tension on it, and no binding, anything at all like that. So, you can copy that. I was just using that aluminum tape. I just cut real thin pieces of the aluminum tape, and that's what I used to secure the wire to the strut. All right, so gives you an idea there how I did that. All right, and then on this red piece here, you're going to want to cut the corner. Let me drop the gear. So right here in this area, you can see how this has got a sharp bend. I did a 45-degree cut on that right there. See what I did? Right there. Made a little 45-degree cut on there just for a little strain relief, and so the wire doesn't get caught up in the gear. And you can see it kind of just, it sits real nice. And then I used hinge tape here just to lock the wire down. Hinge tape right here. All right. And then to make room for this wire, you get a flathead screwdriver, right? Take it and just run on the inside of the wires. Just run it down and push it all the way around, so you can make a bigger channel in there for that wire to come in. All right. So I'm just taking it and pushing in, and that way you widen that gap just a little bit, so you can fit your brake wire in right down the side. Make it real nice and neat. Okay. And you can also use it to push the wires down in there a little better. Alright. Okay, so mine's in there good. Alright, so that's how I did the strain relief and all on that. Now, as far as how I'm going to connect the wire, So you've got plenty of length here. What I'm going to end up doing is, if you look at this connector here coming out. What did I do? I took it out of the servo, whatever. If you look at the connector here, we got two pins right here that are not being used, a top one and a bottom one. I'm going to shorten this, I'm going to cut this wire, tin it, and then I'm going to solder it to those two pins. So that way the brake is just seamlessly integrated right in the DB9 connector. It's going to be freaking awesome. So you can see the two pins right there, right? The top and the bottom. That's the two I'm going to solder to. And then, once I put the connector back in, it'll look stock. No wires hanging out, no worry about, oh, did I connect the brake wires and all that? Like on my Viper, I had to do that on my Viper, but this one's going to be a lot better. And so that's how I'm going to do that. And like I said, redo all this, because that was an abortion. That was an abortion. And then when you're done, all you're going to do is just put some glue on here and just stick that back in and glue it back in place. And no one will ever know whatever happened. Now, when I cut this wire to solder onto those pins, I'm not, don't get rid of this, because this, we're going to use the wire that's left over with this connector on the end. That's going to go to our brake controller. And where is that? Oh, here it is. Alright, so that's going to go to the brake controller. Now this brake controller that they give in the kit is really, really nice. I use it on my Viper also. And it's proportional. So you can set it to, like I set it to this slider right here. Right? So all the way down is no brakes. All the way up is full brakes. This is an IX20 in case you want to know. Right? And just set it up proportional like that. And then the way you connect it to this controller they give you is your positive, your red wires go out. Okay? So red wire out, and if it was the other side, it would look like this. Yeah, come on, get on there. Like that. So red wire out, red wire out. And that's how they connect to the brake controller here. Like I said, make that proportional, makes your life real easy. And what I do is, when the slider's in the mid position, right there, I have about 40% brake in. So that way, as soon as the aircraft hits the ground, it's got some friction on the brakes to start slowing down immediately. Right? Because, you can set yours whatever you want. 40% was a good value for me. That's what I use on the Viper and all my other planes. So, and then like I said, once you go all the way to the top, that's full brakes. You can sit there and rev that engine full throttle. That plane's not going to move until you drop those brakes. So you can do your carrier takeoffs if you want. And I think that'll do. That little battery I showed earlier in the previous video, that's the one that's going to plug into here and be my power source for the brakes. So remember that was that little bitty pack? Yeah, that's going to be the power source for the brakes. And it's a little tight right here. You'll understand when you put your brakes on. It's a little tight here on the foam. Oops, I pulled out the connector. Hold on, let me put this back together. Let's see, red middle, black is white. And where's my other one? Blue. There's my signal. Okay, there we go. So when it's this area right here. Right here. So this is really, really close to this. You might have to shave it a little bit. Mine just barely clear, so I'm trying not to shave if I don't have to. I don't want to see white foam. I'm trying to keep it all red. Right? As you can see as it comes down, look how close it gets right here. Just clears it. So I'm not going to touch it. Looks good. Do your hinge tape here. That'll hold that down. Set your wires like I showed you in the beginning. That'll take all the strain relief off of it. And with the wire on the inside like this, even if you do the brakes, so you've got strain relief. It's not going to hang up on anything. So it works out really, really good. Yep, so said those 2 pins over here, the top and the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make just an acronym that I always use is no problem. So negative will be the top and positive will be on the bottom, NP. So negative top, positive on the bottom, that's how I'm going to wire, that's how I'm going to solder those wires into that connector. And then with this excess wire that's left, do the same thing, but on the plain side connector, I'm going to solder this, what's left, to the 2 pins, the exact same 2 pins on the other side in the body connector, and then I'm going to run that up to the brake controller. I'll do a separate video on that one so you can see what I did for the plain side. Any questions, put it in the comments. All right, till next time.